And we're loading into another series, Dragonslayers 2 against Balling Ballers. We do have an Atlas's Lab game. We have Hotshot. We have Spark of Strength. And Drop, what do you think about the comps that have been picked here?
Well, I'm not looking at the comps right now. I'm looking at the amount of hotshot pickups on the side of many Dragonslayers. They have opted for 2 Spark of Powers, and after the Spark of Leadership was put in over Agility, I don't think Spark is as powerful as it used to be, but hey, they're securing the first point in a pretty timely manner, being up a level on the entire side of Ball and Baller, so I think they can just kind of snowball this lead and get the 3 sparks that they're looking for.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, they're trying to snowball it and trying to snowball into damage as well, right? Because their team comp baseline also has a lot of KO potential. Amy Kazan, not bad in that department. Meanwhile, Striker Kai on Kai is going to be able to hold up the midfield in terms of control. On the other hand, you have Ball and Ballers who are just very heavy on that core control front, right? With the Cell Rasmus, it's like the combination to go for. Still some damage threats, as you can see Twisty being put down to almost stagger immediately there as well, and taken out by Lufoxio. So Ball and Ballers now actually find themselves in a power play trying to take the second barrier off of Luke, but Luke walks up confidently, puts down a turret, puts down the delay, and Striker Kai with a nice Giga Blast will find the score there as well. Good point.
Yeah, I mean, Ball is doing such a great job of kind of just shooting Twisty. Kazan is always a character that his health pool is just so low that even when you're playing characters that don't have as high damage as they had before, and especially with the Dubu Rasmus, it can be hard to find these kills, but hey, Kazan is always an option to shoot Kazan. But Ball and Ballers do need to be a bit more careful with the core. I mean, I think the getting core up the field with the hot shot might just be enough to kind of stop Twisty from getting the core and doing some terrible things as Kazan. But if Ball and Ballers are unable to kind of get this value out of hotshot that they've taken 3 of, the game could just be a lot harder to win.
Could be a lot harder to win, especially if you need to use 2. If you use 2 flips there as well, you don't have those anymore on the offense. You do get a KO now on Striker Kai, which gives another power play now in favor of Ball and Ballers, but that's happened before and the barrier didn't drop. We'll see if Luke's going to hold on to this barrier again and will not only hold on to the barrier, but find one as well. Dr. Bebop almost losing the goal there as Twisty gets a nice hit-in flip coming up from Luke, but the Striker Kai Giga Blast will still be enough. A clean 3-0 set for the side of Dragonslayers here.
Yeah, that was beautifully played from Dragonslayers. I mean, the angle that Luke was able to find on defense using the Atlas Black hole in order to just kind of find the barrier early and almost just secure the goal immediately was very impressive. But now the Dragonslayers 2 are going to the draft. There is one of the sparks they're looking for, but of course, Striker Kai obviously pick up the team player before the Rasmus is able to pick it up. And that's kind of team player is basically a hot shot just for your strike, you know? He's got a hot shot now. Let's go.
Huge value. And I feel like also the nice thing is, right, there's Spark of Leadership, but there was no real pressure for the side of Dragonslayers to pick that up for themselves, because Twisty's going to get it as a last pick. Anyone on Ball and Ballers would just kind of grief their own draft to some degree if they were to pick it up, and that's what happened as well, right? Twisty did get that Spark of Leadership, did get that potential scale as well, and I mean, it's not a lot extra damage just off of the second spark. It's still a good amount, but you see it already. KO being found there, power play being found for Dragonslayers, and they're just so clinical about it. Get that goal in as well to take another lead in this set.
Yeah, I mean, 150 power is nothing to scoff at, and Kazan is a character who's got a lot of things that can scale off this power. So, especially you might just be able to run down, like, anyone that gets hit by, like, any, like, stray abilities. Like, one Kai Giga can put you in range, just kind of die to the rest of Kazan's kit. Could look scary for Bam here, but a great dash hook from Twitch managing to secure the first barrier, and things are looking scary, but Striker barely misses the strike barrage, but a great Kazan pop from Twisty. And they're looking to collapse in the corner, and a great pass from Twisty up into the turret, and they're able to secure the second point without even popping Luke's flip in the offense there.
Yeah, that's important as well that you have that flip still, because now you can play that flip aggressively together with that super surge on Luke, maybe get a jump up front, a good cyber swipe, can put yourself in a position to get that flip to secure a barrier, if not maybe even a double barrier, right? We're still in that lap, it can very much happen, but for now, the first barrier is going to be taken by the side of Balling Ballers. They're trying to get the second one here set up as well. Flip comes out from Luke defensively now, so no offensive value on that flip, but it sets up a nice attack now for Striker Kai and Twisty as they're whittling down on Lufoxio's HP there, trying to get the value, trying to get that KO going as well. They do get the bottom barrier first. Dr. Bebop not able to cover both of the barriers there, but again, we're on a 2-barrier map. We don't really care about the first one that much. Striker Kai about to be taken out will get flipped, but not flipped off the map cleanly there. Still has a flip on his own. Will use it here as well, as the pendulum swing from BAM will actually get that KO, but Twisty returns it swiftly. 2v2 situation now. Foxio, Dr. Bebop both have a flip soon, but the barrier will be found with Luke. Again, great aggressive play on his Amy, getting involved up front, making it difficult to defend that they're kind of facing 3 forwards at the same time. Almost Giga Blast finding the goal there as well, but gets defended cleanly. Flip coming out from Foxio. And still no goal found. Second barrier is still alive on the side on Dragonslayers as well. And the glitch pop will find it. Dr. Bebop not using that flip in time there. And that's going to be the second set for Dragonslayers. And not a single goal yet for Bowling Ballers. Looking a bit rough.
Yeah, I mean, Luke and DREKAR are just playing such good defense that even though that the core control of Estelle Rasmus is able to get up the field for the side BALN Ballers, they're doing such a great job at holding their abilities and getting it out to kind of save their abilities for offense using just strikes. And when you've got a team of Kai, Kazan, and Amy, even on the defensive goalie Dubu, it could be extremely hard to hold these, especially when Amy is now picking up a Timeless to make this turret even scarier to deal with.
Really unfortunate awakening choices here, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, a bit awkward for Sharkai to pick up the size, but I guess they're denying the double size from Dubu. And Kazan picking up his own size pickup. Of course, everyone knows the first size on Kazan is extremely scary, and Twisty's been able to make it to set 3 with 2 wins on the side of Dragonslayers without getting their size. So this is an extremely big power spike for the side of the BALN Ballers, and or not the BALN Ballers, the Dragonslayers. But hey, Twisty's still getting run down. The game plan to fight against Kazan has not changed. And a great, unfortunate Giga from Striker Kai manages to take the second barrier while he's looking to move up the field. Tries to find a kill on Twisty. He's barely unable to get it. That's the Rasmus nerfs from about like 2 weeks ago, guys. Well, that's like way longer ago, actually. But Twisty is able to get unstaggered, and Dr. Bebop forced to use the somersault to save the barrier. And Dragonslayers is just kind of looking a little rough here, but got 2 flips, but no barriers. And against the open net against a Rasmus Estelle, it could be so scary, especially as an Amy. But a great flip from Striker Kai managed to secure this second barrier, and now it is Twisty on the open net.
Gonna try to get that core in, but can't quite find the angle. The recovery drone now procced off of Striker Kai as Luke and Twisty play together. They're trying to get an attack going, but Dr. Bebop holds on quite nicely there. Not in real danger of going in, as Striker Kai is just fighting for his life at this point. The Giga Blast coming out, flip has to come out from Dr. Bebop, almost gets it past Luke, but he will get back in time, and unfortunately, the Dubu secondary will not connect to that core there, as Dragonslayers take themselves another goal.
Yeah, an unfortunate missed roll from Dr. Bebop. The defense at that point played by BALN was quite strong, but unfortunately, the one mistake on defensive goalie means that you just lose the possession of the core entirely, and unfortunately goes in. But a great open primary from Twisty manages to find the 150 power kill that this Kazan should be able to find like way more. A great hook from the side of BAM is able to get it out. Dr. Bebop, Dubu defensive goalie, all it takes is 1 log to get it out there. And there's nothing that Striker Kai can do about it. And a beautiful secondary from the side of BAM, and a great layering of the flipping primer from Lufox here. And you know what they say, it only starts with a trickle. This might be with the ball and needs to get back into this game.
Yeah, important goal, and you want to keep that momentum now, right? Trying to go back into this game, trying to keep that pressure up. But Dragonslayers 2 just immediately answering, actually. A really strong offense at the bottom there. Twisty has a flip available as well on this Kazan. We'll see if she's going to use it or not. Doesn't use it just yet, as the attack still has not slowed down. Luke with a nice cyber swipe will keep up that pressure there, making use of that eject goalie, being that nuisance to deal with, as the Dubu Tofu Fortress will come out. The KO being found by Twisty there. So now power play in favor of Dragonslayers 2, and they will just use that flip, passes up to Striker Kai and secure the goal. Not wasting much time, just getting the goal in and putting themselves now 1 goal away from taking his first game.
Yeah, Twisty is putting Kazan so much more, kind of ignoring the defensive abilities of Dubu, just kind of getting around all these strong defensive abilities, using Kazan's kind of free flow offense, able to find another kill at the open primary. The double spark plus build different is really paying off, and unfortunate snipe from Luke's denies Striker Kai from his flip and trying to move it up the field to accelerate this power play. Pops the black hole. Striker Kai gets it through, damages Lufox, and all of Dragonslayers managed to make it to the corner, but unable to get through. And now it's up to Twisty to find a barrier, and able to find it with a strong hook strike. And Luke's loses the double barrier to Estelle Rasmus. And then moving outfield, Luke does have the flip, opts to pop it, is denied by BAM. But it's not out yet for the side ball ballers. And Lufox pops the flip. Dr. Bebop goes down, and it is now up to Lufox and BAM to defend the 2v3 in the power play.
Yeah, but they're holding on pretty nicely. They're able to keep the core away. They're able to not allow Dragonslayers 2 to really get a proper attack set up for themselves. And they gave enough time for Bebop to not be back on the map. Striker Kai and Twisty still holding up the offense pretty strongly, though. Core control solidly in the hands of Dragonslayers 2 as the black hole actually comes back. And now Twisty taken off the map. Power play in favor of BALN ballers. They're trying to now hopefully get this core in and put themselves in a set point situation as the strike comes out from BAM and finds the angle. What a snipe, making sure that neither Striker Kai or Luke are going to be able to get there in time. And more importantly, BAM will hold on to the flip here as well, and will hopefully be able to use this efficiently in this 0.5.
Yeah, it was a beautiful strike placed from BAM, and is able to find another barrier. He's kind of popping off on the core control right now. But it's now kind of waiting for it to get up to the field. Both Dr. Beelba and Lufox kind of stuck in the corner against the Kazan. A very scary spot to be in. BAM is able to get up to the field. Uses a hook to deny Striker Kai his strike. But the flip is denied from the layered defense from Luke and Striker Kai. So she's moving up the field. Dr. Bebop is trying to get involved on the offense here, but it's looking really scary. All it takes is one slip up against like Akai and Kazan, and the core could just go flying past you. Attempts to find the Quangle and manages to get Striker Kai's slip out instead. And they find the first barrier, and BALN ballers is looking like they might be able to take the set.
Yeah, looking really good, actually. Getting a little bit more collected and organized on the attack there as well, as Bebop will lose a barrier there, though. But Bebop will have a flip soon. Lufoxia will have one soon as well. Luke comes up and gets his flip out on his own there, as Bebop will have to answer with his own. The only flip on the field now, Lufoxia trying to get an angle there on the Estelle, but not able to find it. The attack still building, as Dragonslayers 2 are just not giving up that pressure. The KO being found. 2 KOs being found for Dragonslayers 2. BAM now will have to do miracle work to hold on to this point. Swissy has a flip as well. They do just flip and get the goal in. Extremely solid attack in the end there for Dragonslayers 2 as they get themselves a clean 3-0 victory.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't see that many kills come out of that game, but in the last point, Dragonslayers has shown that they picked up 2 sparks of strength, and they've got a Super Surge Imi, and they're going to put it to use. Managed to secure the ace to close out the game. And I mean, it was a pretty dominant performance from the side of Dragonslayers. There was some signs of life from the side of BALN ballers in the last set, but they're unable to close out that last set. And it is a 3-0 to the side of Dragonslayers.
Ballers.
Cool. Guys, I don't think Dubu was the pick, to be honest.
I don't think Dubu really was that great. Yeah.
And we're back going into Clarion Corp in the series of BALN ballers versus Dragonslayers 2. This time on a Super Surge start, but actually only 2 players this game have opted to Super Surge. And we got all the forwards running up with a pair of sunglasses with the Spark of Focus. Only Dr. Bebop on the Dash Range Vice and Luke on the Super Surge Vice. Kind of opposite ideas of what to do with this Super Surge. One side's just kind of looking to keep the speed up and keep possession, and Luke just wants to kill people. But
yeah, murder's easy, you know. If you have the abilities, you can just go for it. So we'll see how well they're going to be able to do that. The attack is starting actually in favor of the side of BALN ballers this time around. Both barriers down on the side of Dragonslayers. Second one still up for BALN ballers, and also I just want to point out, incredibly annoying for Luke to defend because they're going into a stealth Drekar. It's not really a very fun team comp to defend against.
Yeah, it's not looking very fun for anyone on the side of Dragonslayers. I mean, both Twisty and Striker Kai looking extremely low against this lizard with a shotgun, kind of just running at them right now, even with flip, but unable to secure the middle orb. Striker Kai kind of has a lot of health to work with now, and attempts to strike Barrage through Mako, but this character is just too balanced, is able to defend it all. And a beautiful flip from the side of BAM is managed to secure the kill on Striker Kai, and an ultimate on the other side of the map to hit Twisty. The gameplay of just shooting the other team is looking strong. But BAM and Lufox able to get some great passive plays, able to force the flip out of Luke. And Dr. Bebop has another Mako secondary coming up, but is able to be denied by Twisty. Strike brush away from Striker Kai. But again, I mean, this drekar character, yeah, like guys, fun fact, we were kind of making fun of it, but it is doing a lot of damage right now.
It's doing a very surprising amount of damage, actually. And to top it off, right, with Estelle Drekar, they have such a strength around the midfield area, just contesting the core continuously and not really giving a good area to attack for the side of Dragonslayers too. And even if they somehow get it past that midfield, you're met with a Mako still, right? Like, yes, she's been hit with nerfs, but she's still pretty strong on the defensive end. Like, not much has changed around that front, so... it's gonna be a question of whether Dragonslayers 2 are gonna be able to find any kind of like consistent good setup to take these barriers, because if you're not finding it, I feel like over time ballers will just be much more consistent and just find the barriers faster than you, because your defensive strength is a vice, which, you know, great character but not really known for one-on-one defense.
Yeah, but hey, even though we keep the core up, the damage side of the ballers, like the longer these points go on, the more that BAM is able to just strike shotgun through players and is able to find a great strike despite getting stunned towards the bottom side of the net. And the drekar is just getting so much value. These ults are getting so much damage, and when you have both a drekar and Estelle, the longer these points go on, the more primaries you're eating, and the Mako damage, while it's low, it's way higher than Dubu. Like, eating these primaries is kind of nothing that you can kind of ignore against Mako, especially when you have to play so close to her sometimes. But really, it is just this onslaught of abilities. So that there's a bunch of hitboxes coming off the side of the ball. The Striker Kai, of course, is looking very low again, but Twisty's able to get a core up. A great barrage from the side of Striker Kai. He's able to kind of secure the second barrier. And Lufox is looking for a play with the flip, and a strike shotgun and just secured the last barrier. It's not looking for even point.
Looking like an even point. We'll see if they're going to be able to get the score on Dr. Bebop here, but still, Lufoxio and BAM just doing a good job holding that core, making it difficult for the side of Dragonslayers to set up, but in the end, good positioning from the side of Dragonslayers will actually get them the goal here. Striker Kai will find it, and it is going to be that second barrier that's kind of like the make or break situation for the side of Dragonslayers too, because getting that second barrier off of the Mako is going to be 10 times more difficult than trying to get an open goal going. So it's incredibly important that they can find it, and whenever they do find it, obviously they also translate it into the goal like they did this time around, as the damage will again come through. Twisty now has a flip offensively, will not use it yet. The flip coming out a little bit late from Dr. Bebop, so open goal again, and very unfortunate there. Core just going into the net slowly there. Dr. Bebop and Lufoxio maybe having a little bit of a miscommunication there, neither of them going for that core.
None of them really wanted to walk up there. I mean, Twisty was just throwing out so many abilities for that stop, so they were trying to get away from the Kazan open abilities, but Twisty is able to find a first barrier with a dash pop setup. But on this bounce house, anything can happen. And when you're playing a character like Vice, who doesn't really have as great defensive abilities, you kind of like being able to get the core out so easily with these bumpers. But it kind of goes both ways. I mean, these bumpers kind of lets Lufox accelerate the play so fast as to get the second barrier, and things are looking super scary for the side Dragonslayers now. I mean, and you know what? Ballers, they've got a Mako sitting on the second barrier. They're looking pretty happy over here.
They're incredibly solid here. The Striker Kai even has to use the flip there defensively, which you would love to have for the offense, because you're going to have to find a way past this Mako, right? Which is not going to be an easy task if you have something like a Kai and a Kazan up front, who don't really have like a great forcing tool against just like a secondary being there. So it is difficult for them to do it, and on the other hand, it's difficult for Luke to defend, as the consistent pressure from BAM and Lufoxio will actually be enough to get that goal there. So, important set for the side of ballers. And keep in mind as well, we have a spark start, and that spark of agility, that's one of the quickest hovers I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I mean, the spark agility is one thing, but getting the CDR spark on drekar, someone who has prime time kind of just built in, that's going to be a lot more shotguns coming out. And when you're already taking as much damage as the side of Dragonslayers 2, that's not something you want to see, but hey, Strike High recognizes that and picks up the Reptile Remedy, which I think is actually going to be huge, especially on Kai. The character who kind of strikes the ball a lot to begin with. I mean, the Strike High might just be unkillable now.
Might just be unkillable, which is a great thing, but in the terms of damage, Twisty and Luke also opting for explosive entrance and specialized training respectively. So while Striker Kai is going to be able to stay on the map a bit longer, Luke and Twisty are going to make sure that the side of Balling Ballers have a more difficult time staying on the map. And really good aggressive play from them there will also get them the goal. Twisty not being taken out, even though staggered, which is a great starting point now for the side of Dragonslayers too.
Yeah, Dragonslayers just does a great job kind of keeping the core up there, making it so that they couldn't, the side of Ballin Ballers couldn't really spend their abilities to play to secure the kill. They're kind of forced to spend it on defense, while all of Dragonslayers were kind of just able to spend their abilities just kind of hitting the core and the other players, which is always optimal. But Dragonslayers is able to pick up the first kill and barrier of this point, and they're looking, they want this set back. They lost their first set of this game, and they want revenge. They don't want this game. They want this game to kind of go like last one, and end it quickly.
Yeah, they're playing incredibly aggressive. That's where the Vice pick will shine as well, right? Vice doesn't do well if the core is stuck in your own defensive half. So they're just making sure that Luke plays as aggressively as possible, that Striker Kai and Twisty just cover all the other angles that are still open there. Just like there as well, Twisty just being that presence at the bottom, and then she kind of just gets the core there, is able to just poke it into the bottom there. And as long as that core is going to stay in the half of Balling Ballers, it's going to be very difficult for them to really play it out, because that Vice is going to suffocate the defense together with the Kai and the Kazan. So they need to get the core out of their half as much as possible and trying to keep it an enemy half, because with enough sustained attacks, then the side of Balling Ballers will be able to get past that defensive Luke for sure.
Yeah, enough strike shotguns, enough to kill anybody. And as long as Drekar is able to keep the core with him, you can get more value out of these shotguns. But a beautiful pass from Luke is able to get it straight to Twisty in a round Bebop strike. And Dragonslayers 2 has taken this second set very decisively with a 3-0. It's now Twisty first up in draft, possibly looking for a Spark Deny. But there's a lot of scary things for Kazan here, and also a lot of scary things for Side Ball Balls. I'm looking at prime time for Kazan, but also team player could be picked up by Dr. Bebop, and that's pretty what we're seeing.
Bit difficult to say where everything's going to go, honestly. You have size for Kazan, you have team player, you have Sparkle Leadership, which you do not want to go down to BAM, though. So yeah, that's going to have to be picked up by Striker Kai. Going to share a little bit of cooldowns there. But Bulk Up's still a pretty solid pickup for BAM either way. Other than that, the 1-2 punch going to help a little bit with damage from Fight or Flight. Still a very funny awakening overall. Definitely going to do a lot of work for Lufoxio in that movement speed and survivability department as well, helping getting more of those secondaries. But again, Dragonslayers 2 just immediately firing out of all gates, getting a KO, getting both barriers, almost getting Lufoxio there as well. They're trying to set themselves up, get that other KO as well. BAM trying to get this 1v3 going, but yeah, it's very difficult to play out.
That was an extremely explosive point from Dragonslayers. Kind of just, if you're getting not only getting a barrier fast, but also just kind of getting the damage racked up as they were doing. Able to find 2 kills extremely quickly. Something that Vice really likes to see. Getting so much value out of these primaries and secondaries. Just kind of running down the other team. But so the Ballin Ballers do not want that point to go as it did last time. They're able to get them for both barriers first. They're kind of collapsing in that corner. And it's not up to Dragonslayers to kind of find the second barrier, but they're, again, so much damage from Vice when they can get it in on the corner. And even though Dragonslayers or Ballin Ballers do have the first 2 barriers, the things are starting to look pretty scary in the damage department. Eating one too many Vice abilities could just end this point.
Could end it at any point, honestly, because there's a lot of damage already spread across the side of Balling Ballers. Lufoxio, more notably as well, does not have an evade to work with. This has it 1 now, but wouldn't want to waste it almost immediately there either. BAM will get a flip soon on the Drekar, and is going to try to avoid using evades here as well, trying to get that farmed up to use it, but Luke will just get the flip out himself there. Another flip coming out from Striker Kai, but extremely well defended from Dr. Bebop there, against all of that pressure being mounted up against them. And now BAM up front on the Drekar, and will just find the angle. Really strong defense and a really great attack from BAM there as well to even out the set.
Yeah, that was a kind of a great counterattack from inside Ballin Ballers. Bebop's doing so well defending against all these flips and abilities, and there's managed to get up to BAM, who's able to secure the point beautifully against a Vice. There's no abilities, and when you got flip, that's not something you want to miss. But a shotgun, ult shotgun, and just kind of just take Striker Kai out kind of in the middle of the field. The car damage is being shown that if you're kind of without evade against this lizard, and he's got full abilities. That's a lot of knockback and damage that you're taking, and they use that power play to get the second barrier, and it's now up to the Dragonslayers to kind of make this, take back this point if they can try.
Gonna be a bit difficult for them to really set themselves up though, because they're now gonna have to deal with an open goal, which means Luke can't really get himself as aggressively involved as he would like to. Still holds on to the point for now, as Bam's taking a lot of damage as well. Giga Blast coming up from Striker Kai, but doesn't find the core the way he was planning it to. Lufoxio, no evades, maybe also a target in terms of KOs, but right now Bam is just trying to do everything he can up front with the Drekar. Not going to be able to find the goal just yet, though. The defense from the side of Dragonslayers 2 still holding on really well. The Giga Blast will get the core out, and we're getting close to a lot of flips here, but still, the defense is actually really effective here for the side of Dragonslayers 2, considering they have to deal with a Vice, right, on a defensive end, which is not the easiest to defend with.
Yeah, but as we say that, immediately that entire point was going so long that we were just waiting to get his flip again, and it was just like the last time. He just pops that flip, and Vice, when she's just kind of spent all her abilities looking to damage the other team, there's not much she can do. But out of range of the core flip, out of range of strike, kind of forced to watch it go in and kind of go next point there. But if the Dragonslayers can kind of get the points like they did the first point in this set, and just kind of run over the side of Ballin Balls before they have time to kind of find their footing and get a kind of stable offense going, they're able to just kind of take these points so quickly.
Able to find them for sure. Right now we're in a pretty even state though on this bouncy castle, right? You do have a second barrier actually now going down on the side of Ballin Ballers. Twisty up front now trying to play around with that Kazan, but not able to find the attack she wants to, as the unfortunate bounce will also take the barrier off of Luke. Flip has to come out here now, as they do need to find the score, and the nice poke from Twisty will actually get a goal. And I haven't paid attention to how many goals she scored this game already, but she's starting to go into that brawler position, because fun fact, if you didn't notice game one, I don't think she got a single goal. I think it was all Luke and Striker Kai.
Nope, just a complete passive core control Kazan, where, you know, just pass to your teammates, you know? No need to hook to yourself, and you can just get the core away from you.
Well, definitely. The attack's still going very strong for the side of Dragonslayers too, though. The barrier not dropping. Dr. Bebop doing a really good job defensively, and an even better job from Bam up front now to take both of the barriers out. Now Dragonslayers 2 under pressure to get this barrier. Luke getting involved up front as well, and they will find the second barrier. Cooldowns are going to run low on the side of Dragonslayers 2, though, and Lufoxia will have a flip as well. So the attack is starting to be built for the side of Ballin Ballers. Flip comes out to evade some damage there, as they're still trying to get the attack going, and it's being contested continuously. Neither side's really getting a really strong setup to get the core in, but both of them are just kind of like eyeing each other, waiting for that one team to make that mistake that could give them the goal. And right now, the side of Dragonslayers 2 are being tested continuously, because the core has not left their half in the past, like, 20 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. And it continues to be on their side, but as that's all happening, the power in the middle has been far, but it doesn't matter, because all it takes is one crazy Clarion Corp angle, and it just flies past Luke. And that's how Ballin Ballers are able to find this third set. They're going into this draft, and there's a lot of things that both sides want here. I mean, Missile Prop Drekar is a pretty game-changing awakening for that character. The shotgun just, it basically doubles its range and its effectiveness, and of course, 20% more damage is nothing to scoff at. But hey, more size on Kazan, I don't think anyone's ever complained about that, unless you're on the other team.
I don't think there's anything to complain about in that regard either. And you get even more damage, you get heavy impact on Estelle, a Deadeye on Vice, you get more speed on Striker Kai here, and a little bit more size for Dr. Bebop. I do feel like everyone's kind of walking away from this pretty happy with everything that they kind of wanted. I do just, again, want to highlight though, Missile Prop Drekar, that's going to be very difficult to defend against, because you already pointed out earlier, double Spark with the Drekar, one of them being Spark of Focus, so that shotgun's going to be up a lot, and now it's going to be almost twice as big. Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest to defend against, but again, you don't need to defend against it if you're just scoring, and that seems to be the game plan of Dragonslayers 2 right now, as they're in the attack. So Luke using that Vice secondary aggressively as well, trying to get involved. The Giga Blast finding its way onto the core as well, but the goal's still not found yet, as an unfortunate strike from Luke will actually take one barrier out. Bam now trying to set up and get the second as well. That ultimate coming out just right. The nice strike from Striker Kai will actually hold on to the point there, though, and is going to try to get himself involved with that flip. Positions himself in the center of the attack. It doesn't even have to use it, because Twisty and Luke Twisty and Luke just do such a great job on the attack there to force it through the bottom.
Yeah, beautiful collapse on the bottom side from Twisty and Luke. And hey, keeping this flip on the Kai is so important, but it popped and unfortunately immediately slapped away from Mako. Not a character you can kind of just flip into easily, which she has so many abilities. It kind of shuts the core down. It kind of ignores the flip. But they're able to layer their strikes on offense to get it through Dr. Bebop here, and Luke is still sitting pretty with two barriers and of course a full flip on the Vice. And this ult coming up is it kind of forces Dr. Bebop to take the strike or lose. But really, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see any good way to get out there.
I don't think there is a way to get out there. Like, either you just take the damage and pray you get a strike, or it's just gonna go through it anyways. Really good ability usage from Luke there. More importantly, again, another attack where Luke didn't have to use the flip, so he can use it now to get the second barrier off to Dr. Bebop so swiftly as they're trying to get themselves a quick set to win here and force a set 5. We'll see if they're gonna actually find it as well, though, because both the barriers did drop on their defense as well. BAM now trying to make use of the drekar, trying to be that nuisance up front, and the core is gonna find its way into the net as well. A nice piercing shot from Lufoxio sends it to BAM, and BAM finds the angle to secure themselves another goal.
That was very big for the momentum of the BALN Ballers. I mean, the set 2, we saw that if they can get away with it, the dragonslayers are down to just take these sets super quickly before the BALNers have a chance to react. But they're able to just kind of slow this set down, get their point, and if they can just take their time, get the score in the corner, and start hitting people back, that I think the BALN Ballers can they're able to find their footing and just kind of stop dragonslayers from taking the game too.
Yeah, most definitely, but the barrier is still not going to be found on both sides here as Evade has to come out from Lufoxio. BAM taking a lot of damage here as well. Twisty will use Twisty will use the flip up front. The flip coming out from Striker Kai now as well. It actually finds the barrier as well, and the Giga Blast will come through and mix up the strike timings from the defense from BALN Ballers, forcing us into a set 5 and giving us a first pick for the Kai. Potentially more speed. I feel like there's still more in the draft.
Oh, no speed to be found, unless you count Twin Drive just being that he gets more secondaries up, which is something that I wouldn't want to see against Dr. Bebop, but Striker Kai is opting to pick up the Spark of Strength with the leadership. That's 3 sparks on the side of Dragonslayers, but denying the extra away from Vice, and Twin Drive picked up on the Estelle, but unfortunately, drekar is not left for anything great. BALN Baller looking like kind of the biggest loser of this draft, but hey, it could go either way.
Can go either way, but again, just a lot of damage being picked up now for the side of Dragonslayers too. If they find their ability hits here, that's gonna hurt quite a bit. Kazan sitting... Actually, wait, funnily enough, Striker Kai is sitting at 170k, 170 damage, so those barrages and those Giga Blasts can do quite a bit of damage if they stack up, and again, you have a Vice and a Kazan behind you. So that's Chaos is gonna be a bigger concern now for the side of BALN Ballers, but as it stands right now, game state pretty even, both finding one barrier. Lufoxio almost being taken out, put out the stagger now, and BAM taking a lot of damage as well, but the second barrier is gonna be found if BAM's gonna be able to get an aggressive push on the drekar here. They might be able to find the goal before anyone dies, but no, they do not. The barrier now drops. Surely, no, it's being held on. No, it does go down. And Twisty now in front of the net together with Striker Kai is going to be able to get that goal confirmed. Doesn't even need to pass Striker Kai. Just a clean mix-up from the Kazan will be enough.
Yeah, I mean, like you said in the draft, the side of Dragonslayers, they're kind of identifying their win condition. They picked up Prize Fighter on Kazan and Adrenaline Rush on Vice, and they're looking to just they're finally looking to find these kills and kind of snowball that lead to just kind of take this set before that the BALN Ballers have any chance to find their footing with their kind of more core control-esque setup. But hey, they've also figured out, hey, shooting Kazan, it's always a valid option. Bam, deny the orbs, but Lufox is so low in the midfield. And the scariest thing right now is that you could get killed by Vice, which means she does get the Adrenaline Rush proc. But Twisty is staggered, but Luke pops the flip to secure the second barrier, and there's still a couple more seconds of this power play. Dr. Bebop opting to pop the secondary, kind of make sure BAM can deny the space, but BAM is still so low. And the 3 prize target Kazan, that's 182 power, and of course, I mean, if you're looking at this Vice build, that's Spec 1-2 Deadeye, and of course on Dren, it could be so hard to kind of not die here.
So hard to, if not impossible, right? Because there's gonna be abilities tossed around all the time, and at one point you're gonna have to take something, right? So by some miracle, BAM actually held on to life there, gets taken out now by Striker Kai in the end, and Lufoxio probably gonna follow suit. Luke, again, not finding the strike timing there, but doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if you're in a 3v1 situation. Striker Kai puts it away. Dr. Bebop still has a flip, but that might also just paint a target on your back. So not sure if that's gonna help.
That is now 0-2 for Dragonslayers, but Bam does not care and finds the shotgun ult to take Striker Kai out, but Twisty's also able to find a double barrier in the process. Kazan, of course, so strong at find, despite being alone, is able to kind of make these own plays happen himself. But Dr. Bebop is kind of trying to keep the core up the field and into a place where Bam likes to play in the corner. And this orb is going down. It is actually Luke who picks it up, and that is 178 power on Luke, and a flip walking up the field, kind of using his ult to kind of keep space here, but manages to lose the barrier in the process. But still, so much damage from the side of Dragonslayers that Bam is looking. He's got no evade left, and if Vice finds one good ability here, that could just mean a Adrenaline Rush, and that could just mean the set end game.
Yeah, we'll see if they can find it though. There's gonna be a lot. There's a lot of energy on the side of Dragonslayers too, and a KO gets found as well. The recovery drone will come back, but not in time, as Twisty will actually find that goal in the end. I feel like that like Dragonslayers 2, they got a very deserving win now, a very deserving series win as well. And even though the side of Ballin is keeping up so well defensively, in the end that 5th set kind of was just too much. The damage just added up too much, and you couldn't really play on your core anymore as much as you wanted. That Vice, that Kazan, both just stacking damage. Luke with 46,000 damage in the end there. Yeah, it's just difficult to deal with and play around.
Yeah, I mean, the damage engine coming off of Luke is just so high, and, you know, even though the damage of both Kai and Kazan aren't that high, I mean, that kill confirm is a little scary. Barrage is really hard to not die to, and of course, Kazan hook, like how scary it is at the core, is also as scary when you are staggered. Able to kind of use that to really great effects to kind of close out that game with such a powerful damage game. Also, 207 redirects on both Twisty and Luke. Beautiful.
That's what you need. Good teammate synergy. But yeah, with that, Dragonslayers 2 actually continuing on their unbeaten run. Now 4-0 in the season, just continuing to look like those title contenders in this league. Very strong show for them.